Okay, my friends, today is going to be a good day. We get to test out the new DJI RS4 Mini and put it through its paces and see what it can do. Hey guys, I've got some sad news to tell you. The RS4 Mini tracking really isn't that good. It's freaking awesome! Check it out. As long as you're within about 32 feet or less, the tracking on this gimbal from DJI is phenomenal, I have to say. I finally got it out and did some serious field testing with it, and the results are pretty remarkable. The really amazing function on this gimbal is that you can turn the tracking on and off with just simple hand gestures. So, I've set mine up so that I can use the OK sign to engage the tracking, but I can use the P sign to start recording on the camera. Now, you've got a choice between this, or this. It's completely up to you. And as you can see, the tracking is inadvertently turned on. That's how good this thing is. So, yeah, the choice is yours. You can set it up the way you want. The only reason I don't use the hand sign is because people talk with their hands. It's fairly easy to shut the recording off. So I'd rather turn my recording on and off manually, but the choice is yours. So DJI's built an absolute plethora of great features into this gimbal to make it easy for one-man banders like you and I. And I mean, just starting off with the aesthetics, this kind of space gray look to it is super awesome, in my humble opinion anyways. And then you've got features like, the one-touch auto locking, and the gimbal itself, when you go to turn it off, it locks all three axes. So it just saves you a lot of time, doing repetitive tasks that you really don't need to do once you get used to this gimbal. So a lot of things to like about this gimbal. So another feature that I really like is this ability to push to move the gimbal. And you can set that in the LCD screen, like in the settings. And it just makes, if you need to quickly move the camera, you've got the ability to do that for pan and tilt or follow, whatever. So another feature that's built into the LCD. And we'll take a look at the LCD later on, but right now, that feature in itself, very, very handy. Another feature that I find super useful is being able to customize the dial on the gimbal to, roll, tilt, whatever you need. I find roll is probably the most common thing that I need to adjust. So, I mean, you've got the joystick to adjust your up and down, but being able to play with the roll and have it convenient and not having to go into the menus, 2 thumbs up. So another huge plus for me, and it was the reason I bought this gimbal, is that you can use it with your phone, you can use it with your action camera or your full-size camera, which I'm doing here. And so that was, I've got the Hohem M7 for the iPhone, but if you buy the adapter, so this kit is the combo version of the RS4 Mini, and it comes with the briefcase handle, it comes with the tracking module for about $459. The base kit is $369, but it doesn't come with that little phone adapter, so I guess that's DJI's slick marketing, I don't know. But if you want to use it with your phone, you can get the adapter. Otherwise, you can mount your action camera on here. So a lot of versatility with this gimbal. So as soon as I say you can use the gimbal with your full-size camera, then I think people go to, well, how much, you know, what's the payload? It's 4.4 pounds or 2 kilograms. Right now I've got my Sony a7 IV 24mm G Master. This is a perfect combination for this gimbal, but I actually put my Sony G Master 50mm f1.2 on this and it worked perfectly fine. So I think that's, you know, the way DJI's built in a little bit of overkill on this gimbal, and I certainly appreciate that. So earlier I mentioned about, you know, the aesthetics of the gimbal, and one of the things DJI has done is they've taken all of the parts that are going to be sliding when you go to balance the gimbal, and they've coated them with Teflon. So they're going to slide back and forth a lot easier. It just makes your job much easier than maybe some other gimbals. And another thing is, for those of you that like to shoot vertical, I'm not a huge vertical shooter, but if I move this over like so, there's a little knob right here. You can loosen this, you can pull the camera off and then turn it like so, and you can set it into a vertical mode. Now you do have to rebalance once you put the camera into vertical mode, but still, you know, you've got that option where some other gimbals you may not have. Okay, so let's talk about physical mode switches. So let me just turn this for you. So you've got mode switches here on both sides actually. So for FT, pan tilt follow, pan follow, the switch is on the right side, and on the left side you're switching between joystick operation and clear image zoom. So that brings us to my, not really a con, but just something to watch out for. So I'm going to show you a picture of here how most people are taking their gimbal to the location to shoot. They slide it into their backpack because, and this is probably the first con, is that the RS4 Mini doesn't come with a case. So probably just marketing on DJI's part, but it would have been nice to have a case, but I digress. So what happens is when you take the gimbal and you slide it down into the pocket, this lever goes up. Don't ask me how I know that. Last week I was in the Muskokas cleaning up some work. I was staying overnight at my sister's and she says, "Oh, what are you doing up here?" So she wanted to see the gimbal and understand what it was and all that. And when I went to hit the joystick, the gimbal didn't move. And so I found out the hard way that you want to have this in the down position so that your gimbal works properly. If you want to use clear image zoom, then click it up. And clear image zoom will require you to plug in the cable here to the camera. Other than that, two great features. So the buttons on the side, the manual buttons, so you don't have to go into the menus. And then, you know, being able to automatically or use the clear image zoom through the joystick, those are great features as well. So if you're looking for a super lightweight microphone system, like right now I've got the Rode Wireless Go here, I like the sound quality of it, but I also own the DJI Mic Mini, and the DJI Mic Mini would work in this situation too, and it'd be even smaller and more lightweight. So a really great option. Now, okay, Paul, what's the cost of this beast? The basic kit is $369 US, and the combo, which I have, is $459. It doesn't come with a case, and it doesn't come with the iPhone adapter. I think that's just under $100 to buy that adapter, but if I find that I'm going to need it, I'll purchase it. But I bought this gimbal to work with my full frame cameras, and so far this gimbal does not disappoint. So do you have to worry about battery life on this gimbal? I would say no. A 30-minute charge is going to get you 5 hours of usage, and just under 2 hours to charge up full, you're going to get 13 hours. I mean, I don't know who's going to be doing 13 hours unless you're, you know, a serious production shooter, but I would say very adequate battery life. So let's keep it real and we'll talk about a few cons. I typically use the small rig half cage on this camera, on the a7 IV, and the gimbal won't balance with it. It just doesn't have enough adjustment. So, not a huge thing, but just something you need to be aware of. If you're someone that likes to stick your camera on backpack straps like a Falcom F38, so originally you were pooched, but now Falcom has come out with an adapter plate, like this one here, or it'll come up somewhere here, and it's reasonably priced. It's not quite as easy to use as this adapter plate, because this plate here, when you're sliding it in, on the bottom of the plate it has 3 notches, so you get kind of a physical click And then with the Teflon sliders, you can really easily slide the camera back and forth. So just watch out for that. If you're like, personally, why would you want to put a full frame camera on your backpack strap here? That's a little bit much. I'll put my action camera there, but not something as big as this. So just watch out for those couple of things. They're, you know, not showstoppers, but they might be a concern for you. So one more small concern that I had, or problem that I ran into, when I first went to activate the camera, it connected to my iPhone 13, no issues. But then after that, I couldn't get the damn thing connected up. And so I, you know, for the first time ever, I was chatting with tech support at DJI, and I gotta say, their tech support is really excellent. I mean, you know, they said update the Ronin app, make sure that the gimbal is updated, you know, downgrade the firmware, upgrade the firmware, and then finally I stumbled onto the problem. I was updating the firmware on my iMic Minis, and so on my iPhone, if you run into a problem connecting from the Ronin app to the gimbal, just go into the Bluetooth, go into the settings, and forget the device. And then reinstall the device, easy peasy, you'll be back in business. So talking about the Ronin app, one of the main features of this gimbal is its ability to connect to the Ronin app. What's the big deal, Paul? Well, it gives you a whole plethora of other functionality. Most importantly, waypoints. You can set point A, you can set point B, or you can set point A and point B, and the gimbal will execute that pan automatically, up or down, back or forth. What's the big deal, Paul? I can do that with the joystick. Yeah, you can, but you will never get it as smooth as having it done automatically by the app. So that's, I think to me, that's one of the main reasons for doing B-roll and stuff like that. Being able to do a nice smooth pan of a product or something like that, it makes a huge difference. So don't overlook that one. So the last thing I want to cover with you guys before I close out this video, and that is the Ronin app. So once you've got it loaded onto your phone and you connected it to the gimbal, and remember that little thing I told you about forgetting the device, you'll see the DJI RS4 Mini and the little number that goes along with it. So then click on Create. And then you come to the Create page and you've got a number of functionalities you can use here, but it's the track function that I think is the most valuable by far. So if you want to set waypoints and do an automatic pan, just rotate the gimbal to, you know, your point A and then hit the plus sign. And when you hit the plus sign, it sets a number. So this is your first waypoint. So now we're going to rotate the gimbal around and we're going to set our second waypoint. And then what I'm going to do is tap on the number 2 waypoint and set the movement duration. And I'm going to set it to about 30 seconds. And then all I need to do is tap the record button. As long as the cable is connected to the gimbal from the camera, it's going to execute this movement automatically. And so a lot of guys will say, oh yeah, but I could do a pan just by holding on the joystick. You will never get it as precise and smooth as you will using the app. So it's just something that I would urge you to think about and take advantage of, and certainly don't overlook it, you know, if you purchase the new RS4 Mini. So let's wrap this up pretty quick here. This gimbal offers a ton of features, and I think I've covered just about all of them. One thing that is really worth its weight in gold is the combo kit. Because with the combo kit, you're going to get the tracking module and you're going to get the suitcase handle. So it allows you the ability to do low hand shots. You can have one hand on the joystick. And so that, in combination with everything else that this gimbal will do, it's a phenomenal piece of kit. I can highly recommend it. And if you found this video useful, hit the subscribe, like, and notification bell for me. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to see you in the next one.